Hello and welcome to Hot Topics Wednesdays. Today we're going to talk about conflict resolution online. And for this purpose, I invited a guru, a specialist in conflict resolutions, Anastasia Pryanikova, who has devoted many years of her research to studying this issue.
Hi everybody, thank you for joining me.
Anastasia, can you please describe the anatomy of a conflict? How does conflict originate?
Conflicts are a natural part of our lives. Some people think that conflicts are something negative and always to be avoided at any cost, but it's really not the case. We all have our unique backgrounds, unique experiences, aspirations and goals, and it's only natural that we won't be able to see eye to eye with everybody all the time. Even when we make our own decisions, we often deal with this stream of conflicting thoughts that goes through our head, so we are in conflict with ourselves even more often than with other people. And some disagreements are productive and good because they really help us to shake off the status quo and to reevaluate our own assumptions and change things for the better. And those are all good benefits to conflicts. However, if conflicts are not managed effectively, they can also result in damaged relationships, in tarnished reputation, in strong emotions such as anger, in pain, grudges, and sometimes, unfortunately, even the destruction of property and the loss of life. So it's very important to know how to manage conflicts effectively. And unfortunately, our brains don't always help us do it well. We are very quick to blame others and ascribe bad intent to others when they do bad things. At the same time, we are quick to exculpate ourselves when we do bad things by blaming some external circumstances or something that is beyond our control. In addition, when we are in conflict, often our sense of identity and status is really threatened, and it turns out that our brains are wired to be sensitive to our social standing, how we measure up against other people, how other people perceive us, and those are the things that play out in conflicts and oftentimes lead to a lot of strong emotion.
Great, Anastasia, thank you. So in what way conflicts online are the same as in face-to-face environment, and in what way are they different?
People are driven by the same motivating forces, whether they communicate online or face-to-face. We all want to be heard, we want to be understood, we want to make sense of the world around us. We want to have a sense of belonging to a group or a community because we're all social beings. So emotions are real in both online and face-to-face communication. And so are assumptions, judgments, biases, everything else that we bring that can actually escalate conflicts. So just because online communication feels less personal doesn't mean that it is less emotional. And sometimes the cyber jungle actually creates more negativity than face-to-face interactions because of the so-called online disinhibition effect. And what it means is when we communicate face-to-face, there are certain social norms and constraints that limit what we say and do because maybe we're afraid of the other person retaliating against us, or we're concerned with what other people think when they see us interact in a certain way. But when we are online, sometimes we don't even know who exactly we're talking to because some people choose to be completely anonymous in forums. We are not in the same room, so we don't get their body language. We are not in the same time zone, so the communication can be completely asynchronous. In these circumstances, it's easy to misinterpret and misunderstand. In addition, some people say things online that they wouldn't say face-to-face because they feel less accountable for their words. And that unfortunately leads to such behavior as flaming and abrasive language and trolling, cyberbullying, and other things that are real threats to online community that we have to be mindful of.
That's really great. Thank you so much. So Anastasia, what are the best ways to avoid a conflict online?
To prevent unnecessary online conflicts, if you have an important issue to discuss with someone, do it either face-to-face or over the phone, because it's much easier to talk about important things face-to-face than through online messaging. In addition, if you feel like a certain message may cause a conflict down the road, again, pick up the phone and clarify issues. When you communicate online, try to be concise and precise, because when we need to be brief, it actually clarifies our own thinking, and it creates less opportunity for misinterpretation and misunderstanding. And it's always a good idea to think, well, how will other people see my message? Ask yourself this question. Put yourself in the shoes of other people. Never send anything when you're angry. You can write a message, but just don't send it. Wait till you're calm and composed and in your best communication style to respond. Don't use all caps. Those are considered to be yelling, and it's okay to use all caps sometimes to emphasize certain things, but it's not okay to use it all over the board because it really is annoying. Don't use abrasive language. Don't spread negative and gossiping messages that you receive from other people. In fact, it's a good idea to ask those people in private to stop, because the positive culture of positive interactions online starts with us. If you receive something and you're not sure exactly what the person means, rather than assume, ask for clarification. Always a good idea. And in a similar vein, if you receive something that just feels kind of negative, don't always go like, oh, this person is attacking me now. Instead, step back and ask yourself, well, is there any other interpretation? And if there is a neutral interpretation, go for that neutral interpretation. Well, maybe they're just having a bad day, and it is reflected in their communication style. It really dampens our own emotional response, and it makes us better communicators when we get back with those people and ask them to clarify what they mean and why they phrase certain things the way they did. So those are things that may help you to avoid some unnecessary conflicts online.
These are really great preventative measures. But what to do if, no matter how much you try to avoid a conflict, you still have gotten yourself into a conflict situation online? What to do then?
Now, if you find yourself in the midst of an online conflict, and if you know the person, again, pick up the phone, call them, schedule a face-to-face meeting, and clarify issues quickly. Sugarcoating issues won't solve them, but it will make them sticky. And prolonged conflicts are hard to deal with because they have a lot of baggage and history and negative emotions around them. So try to confront the issues and problems right away. If you feel like you are a target of trolling, don't respond. Trolls use highly charged language to get at your emotions. They really don't care about the message itself. They just want you to respond. They want your attention, and they want you to be upset and angry. And so don't feed the trolls, because if you feed the trolls, they will come back for more. And also, if you see someone being attacked, sometimes people jump in and they start arguing with the troll on the behalf of that other person, the victim. Well, that doesn't help either, because you're spreading the message and you create more attention. If you can say to the troll, stop it, do it in private, through private messaging, if you know who that person is. But don't reiterate the message all over again. That doesn't help. Use blocking, use unfriending, friending, whatever those terms are in different social networks, to limit the access to your information to people who you really trust and want to communicate with. If you can, know your privacy settings. Very important. It's very important for our students to know the privacy settings and how to use them effectively to protect themselves in any kind of conflicting situation. If you are a victim of cyberbullying, capture all the screens with the offensive messages and save them, because you may need this evidence when you go to someone for help. Also, make sure that if you know someone who is engaged in cyberbullying, tell them to stop, and privately, again, because the culture of intolerance to cyberbullying starts with us, and the bystander effect matters. It's influential, and in the community, somebody is a friend of somebody else, and so there's always a person who can intervene and stop their offensive behavior. Also use the reporting tools within the appropriate communities to report any offensive content.
Thank you. That's really great. While you were talking, I was thinking, do we always want to avoid conflicts online? Or are there any situations when conflicts are actually beneficial?
Conflicts will occur in a virtual classroom environment, and they can be viewed as a good opportunity for the students to practice their conflict management skills. Within the safe environment, within the supervision of an educator, they can learn how to be better listeners, how to take perspectives, they can learn how to negotiate, collaborate, really regulate their own emotions better, and deal with sensitive issues. Problem solve, brainstorm, those are all excellent skills that actually will help them not only in the academic environment, but down the road in their professional and personal lives. And as educators, we can help them reach that point of conflict management competency.
Okay, this is a lot to think about. Thank you so much. Do you have any suggestions for the students on how to navigate conflicts online more effectively, how to negotiate them better?
As educators, we can also help our students to be more web savvy and develop those norms for positive, responsible, and productive communication online. We can have discussions with the students about their own communication styles online and maybe share best practices for handling difficult issues, bring in some case studies of what happened and what works and what doesn't work. Educators can be mediators, third-party neutrals who can help our students to resolve conflicts and encourage other students be peer mediators as well and practice their conflict management skills. In addition, educators should have and enforce a clear anti-cyberbullying policy. It's a good idea to compile a list of resources like websites and phone numbers where the victims of cyberbullying can go and get help. We should encourage the culture that is does not tolerate cyberbullying, because again, it starts with us in our communities, and educators have a big impact as well as students, and it needs to be done in collaboration with other students. And we have to be proactive as well. Sometimes I talk to the parents of younger students, and they would say, well, I monitor my kid's Facebook account, but there's not really much going on there. And it's like, I hate to break it to you, but it's maybe because your kid has a second Facebook account that you don't know about. So we cannot just do the minimum and think I'll be okay. I think we have to be more proactive and step in and really take an effort to learn those new technologies and new practices and new ways in how we can influence our students in better ways and create a better community. And finally, as a final note, I would say conflicts are not something to be afraid of. They're not something to be avoided. Instead, we should approach them as an opportunity for learning and growth and transformation. And remember that while hot button triggers are always present, our reactions are optional, and we always have a choice.
Anastasia, thank you so very much for so many incredible strategies. I'm sure that many teachers and trainers online are going to use them and really benefit from them. So thank you so much. You have a good day now.
Thank you so much for your attention, and I wish you all the best of luck. Bye-bye now.
So what I would like for you to do now is in the comments below, please list one strategy that helped you in your conflict resolution. Or you can also share a story when you got yourself in a conflict online, or maybe your students did, of course without mentioning any names, and how you solved that. I don't know about you, but I learned so much from this conversation. So if you liked this discussion, please click like and share it with your friends and colleagues. And also, if you're not on my list yet, subscribe so you can receive updates like this in a timely manner. And I hope you're going to have a wonderful day and conquer that distance.